Good morning, Facebook Live land. This is Mike George here, coming at you from my kind of sad apartment in Montreal. Sad because it still has yet to be furnished and properly arranged and shit. So I am sort of just, it's sort of my hopping, my sort of hop pad. What do you call those? It's like a lily pad. You just sort of land on it for a second, and then you jump away. So I haven't had time to really make it like a palace lily pad, like a lily pad with a flower or anything that actually stands your weight for more than a few seconds. So, good morning, Facebook Live. And hi, Jonathan. Our first comment of the day. Jonathan is live from Israel, which makes this a transcontinental Facebook Live affair. Um, so, welcome to the broadcast, Jonathan. Feel free to contribute whenever this broadcast feels like it's just me talking. If you guys have any questions, but I'll go. Otherwise, I'll just spill some tea on my last couple weeks in Montreal. Um, like I said, getting my place here in a livable mode is still very much a work in progress. I will embarrass myself right now by showing you what this place looks like at the moment. Um, yeah, there's just shit like kind of in boxes still. Um, but yeah, and then here's my smoker's corner, my smoking and wine corner. I still yeah, this is still very much, oh my gosh, still a work in progress. I am looking for a roommate in Montreal, so starting anytime now, and or preferably after I get the place properly decorated. But I'll be looking for a roommate in Montreal around the Vendôme area. Oh, Jonathan, that's all right. Nobody can ever stay for these things. Sunday mornings are. It's not even Sunday morning. It's Sunday afternoon. So get off your computer, boy, and engage with the real world over there in Israel, baby. All right, I love you, darling. So we have Jake with us. We have Jake Michael. Hi, Jake Michael. See, I can never. I'm only remembering Facebook aliases now at this point. So nobody get offended if I don't use your real name here. I only use Facebook aliases because we are, after all, in the Facebook universe. I just happen to use my correct name because, let's be honest, there's a shit ton of Mike Georges out there. I ain't worried about anybody taking my identity if it hasn't been done yet. So, anyways, this week has been, past couple weeks have been lovely. God, my hair's a mess, isn't it? This is like a little like untucked. This is like unhair done. Um, Work has been good. I've been catching up on things there. Um, and I'm actually working on some stuff right now, just some nice work at home stuff, real chill, relaxing stuff actually. And I'm in my honeymoon period where I still enjoy doing work stuff, so I'm not even like upset about doing work over the weekend at the moment. So yeah. Um, and then what else? Yeah, and I love the people I work with at work as well, which is important. A lot of young people. A couple of them even come out to RuPaul's Drag Race on Thursday with me, which is really exciting just to have some like social networking with some of my colleagues, which I don't always do a very good job of because I was always paranoid of them knowing that I smoke weed. But since there's no policy on that at my work, it's like amazing. I don't have to like closet what I do at home, so it makes it a lot nicer for being able to be more like open and transparent with the people I work with, which is good. I've had a couple. I went on a couple dates that were kind of nice. Um, I had a, well, I should just say one date because one was more like, so I went on a proper date on Friday with a boy that I met in the last couple weeks, a Quebecois boy, like kind of a bodybuilder type of guy, but really super nice. Like holds the door open for you and like will probably open the door for you if you're getting into his car or something. Like all the gentlemen, all the like nice, really sweet Quebecois gentleman qualities this person has. Um, and he's sort of a nerdy boy, and so I took him to a board game place, and it was a really awesome place. It was I was looking for a place that sort of reminded me of Kingmakers. I was looking for something like Kingmakers in Columbus. So Columbus has this really cool board game parlor called Kingmakers, right in the short north, and it's like this neat little like kind of hidden away basement lair, and in it there's a bar. They have beers on tap there, as well. As bottles, and I don't think they do mixed drinks. I think they just do beers and some food, like some real basic food, like pretzels and chips and shit. Like I think very few like kitchen items, like proper kitchen items. So, anyways, I was looking for a place like Kingmakers in Montreal, and I just did a little googling, and I found I found this really I found this MTL blog article, which I don't know if any of you are Montrealers or know of MTL blog, but it's this really shitty, really like amateur, like I think like the people that made it were McGill graduates. Um, like it's like this sort of tabloidy Montreal blog. Yeah. So, oh, Maylin, good morning, darling. Maylin. Maylin Lester is one of my Steubenville friends. Nice to get some Steubenville representation this morning. On a beautiful Sunday morning, we have JT Macri. Hi, John. Nice to see you, fellows. What was I saying though? Yeah, this board game place that I found in on Saint Denis Street called Randolph. It was fucking amazing. It had like everything that Kingmakers had, but they actually had real food there, and like it was a more proper setup, I guess, more proper sort of like resto bar setup that you would want for a board game night. And it was exactly the same thing. Like the guys were super knowledgeable. They would teach. Like I just went in there on a date, so like we just sort of like picked out a game that was neutrally unknown to us, and the staff did a really good job of picking out easy games. Like real simple games that a bunch of stoners like me can understand on a like while nervously with a boy on this date. So we played this really cool checkers game. It was like a Chinese checkers game, not Chinese checkers, but it was like it was like an Asian based sort of game of checkers, like on a very simple board, with just very simple colored pegs, and it was really cool. It was such a beautiful game, and I think we played like 8 rounds of it. I think it was about 50-50. I kicked his ass the first several times, but then he sort of figured it out. He figured out how the strategy of the game works, which I think that's why it's actually really wise to take first dates to board game parlors, because you sort of like, depending on the games that you play with them, you sort of see the way they think. You sort of see, are they more collaborative people? Are they more competitive people? Are they more like are they the types of people that would stab you in the back before the final riveting twists of the game? You have to know those things when you're dating people. It's important elements to understand. So, anywho, we had a really nice night. He seemed to really enjoy it. Like I think he was. Yeah, I got like a good review on picking the place out. So I'm proud of myself. I done good on my Friday night date with this kid. So, yeah, and then I hung out with a boy. I met a boy at Cocktail Bar this Thursday during RuPaul's Drag Race night while we were just smoking, and he's an American. He's like traveled around a bunch of different places in the States, and he yeah, I think his most recent place was San Diego, and I love San Diego. I don't know if any of you folks have been to San Diego, but it's full of like just like the kindest people, some of the kindest, sexiest, smartest people there. It's just like, ugh, I'll have to tell you all about some San Diego stories sometime. I know, one of those Facebook lives where I run out of shit to talk about. That just pinpoint this little push pin that as a topic. But anyways, this boy, yeah, I think he's more interested in me as friends, but we still have like this real kind of physical tension between us, this sexual tension that still exists between us. So it's kind of fun because so far, like, we've both been real good girls about not getting into each other's pants, and of course, there was reasons for that, but I don't know, it's refreshing to practice a little restraint. Um, I'm kind of a slutty bastard sometimes in this city, and so I don't otherwise, I just kind of go with the Montreal wind here sometimes. But that was actually both nights, both dates I was on, both boys I was hanging out with this week. We practiced good restraint, much to my chagrin in certain ways, but you know, you just got to get used to switching it up a little bit. You just can't fuck everybody you date. Otherwise, the fuckery. I don't know. I'm old to the point where the fuckery, if too much of it, if you have that if I have too much of a good thing, I start to get burnt out by it. So it's about finding that sweet spot, as it always is with those types of things. All right. Do we have any questions? Do we have any comments here? Oh, Jonathan. That's right. Jonathan's looking for an okay in July. Okay. Let's see. That requires me to get through May and June. Okay. Let's think about that, Jonathan. Yeah. Let's think about that. Oh, Jonathan, you're supposed to be in Israel, girl. You're supposed to be off your phone already, baby. Well, let's talk about some D. I think we're down. I have to see who's. I don't even know who's on camera right now. It's kind of funny. It could be like my mother, but nonetheless, we're gonna talk about boys now. So, for this segment of the broadcast in which y'all can't talk about gay sex, you might just want to sign off right now. Just click the finish button. Just click that button right there. Okay. All right. I think they're gone. All right. Let's talk about some boys. Okay. So, Jonathan. Okay. So I don't want to I am kissing and telling, obviously, but I'm not, telling who they are and stuff. But we can be a little bit physical in our descriptors of them. I won't out them on Facebook Live lands. Fuck, they're probably gonna watch this shit at some point anyways and be like, oh my god. But let's talk. Let's talk some D. Baby. I will be. Okay, come on. Okay, let's see. I mean, so far, I always talk about my constellation of stars. Okay, so anybody who's talked about men with me knows that, the silly questions come up of oh, Mikey, what's your type? What's your type, Michael? And and I'll be honest, I ask that question to boys that are my friends and boys that I'm interested in and whatnot. But the question inevitably comes up of what your type is, and then depending on how far you go down the rabbit hole with some of these boys on Grindr and Scruff and all those things on Facebook, even you can get into some real like kind of dry Tinder conversations about race and shit, and then people will accuse you of being racist because you have types that don't quite intersect with certain races, and yada yada yada. But so I acknowledge not everybody likes Asians, for instance, but you don't see me getting all upset about it, So I don't know. I've gone through phases where I wasn't into black people before. I've gone through phases where I wasn't into Arabs before. And then I've gone through phases where I was immensely into them at other times. So, it's just, you can call it cyclical racism. You could call it whatever you want, I guess. But I just call it having fun and exploring the constellation of boys, So let's talk about that constellation of boys. So lately I've seen, husky country boy Quebecois on Pinpoint A. Pinpoint B has been Pinpoint B has been tall, just big guy who goes to the gym, and he's got Russian, maybe Kazakhstani in him, Eastern European, Russian, sort of one of those devious ethnicities. You know what I'm saying? One of those devious and yet intriguing ethnicities. It's one of those ethnicities that you like. If you slept with the guy of that ethnicity, you would definitely make sure to check that your wallet and shit was still on your dresser the next morning, and that like your phone hasn't been like hacked into with some sort of like discrete device that's monitoring your shit. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, um, yeah. So that's boy number B. Um, there has been a boy number C. I mean, there. Okay, so boy number C is a commonly recurring character, and he's also Quebecois, but he's also kind of like rural Quebecois. Um, yeah, and he's sort of like I don't know his his physique is such that like perfect like he's like just a little bit bigger than me. Like he's like a little bit taller than me, a little bit broader than me. So he sort of fits around me like a glove. And it's so nice. And ugh, that's person number B. So I think just for sake of time here, we'll just focus on A, B, and C, on those three boys. And I'll be honest, they're not like extremely different from each other. Actually, now that I think of it, they're all three of them are white. I haven't had any black guys in a while. See, I have to go to Columbus for I mean, I have to go to Columbus for good black dick, you know, and I'm picky. I'm picky about Columbus has actually made me kind of picky in terms of good black dick. So I mean, there's a lot of black boys in Montreal, but I don't know. Like, I'll be honest. Like, this is gonna sound real racist, and this is why I do Facebook Live shit so that nobody will like fight me on keyboard with all this shit. But like, I'm just spilling out my unfiltered shit here. Um, like the black guys here tend to be more like African, and like I don't know. I like my all American black guys, and like that's just like the type that like I don't know. That's just like the type that Columbus seems to like do. I guess excel with. So, anyways, enough about my constellation of boys lately, which, as we've acknowledged, has been a little bit limited in the past three. What about you, viewers of Facebook? What types of boys do you like? And I know the question of what your type is annoying, but it has to be asked because we all have, whether we admit it or not, we all have types. It's just a matter of how scattered they are around the universe, how passionately we cling on to them, how and how willing we are to sort of let go of them and sort of explore beyond amongst the stars. So, anywho, Facebook Live land, I'm going to explore among the stars some more of this day of my task list. And y'all enjoy your Sunday mornings now. Toodaloo.